Well, hello again, everybody. I have a couple of stories for you tonight. The first one is called Hurry, Hurry. Little Jane Ling was a slowpoke. Hurry, her big brother Toby would call as he started to school at 8:30. Hurry, her big sister Susan would warn as the clock hands reached 8:45. I'm hurrying, Jane always said, dreamily eating her breakfast food one kernel at a time. One morning, when Jane came down to breakfast, minutes and minutes after Toby and Susan had finished, her mother saw a big hole in the heel of Jane's yellow sock. Goodness, cried Mrs. Ling. Better put on another pair of socks after breakfast, Jane. Yes, said Jane, pouring cream spoonful by spoonful. Hurry, Jane, called Toby, bouncing out the door. Hurry, Jane, Susan cried, or I can't wait for you. Jane ate her breakfast and drifted slowly upstairs. She found a pair of red socks and sat down and slowly unfolded them. Jane, shouted Susan, I'm going. Wait, Susan, Jane called, I'm hurrying. The front door bang shut. Oh dear, it must be very late indeed if Susan wouldn't wait. Jane scrambled into socks and shoes, ran downstairs, flung on snowsuit and boots, and galloped wildly after Susan. She reached her kindergarten room just as the bell rang and flopped down on the floor to pull off her boots. Hurry, Jane, said the teacher with a smile. Yes, said Jane, but she had decided never to hurry again because she'd put on one red sock and one yellow sock, and the yellow sock was the one with the hole in it. Well, that's an interesting story. I guess sometimes it pays to hurry, and sometimes you're better off being careful. Well, I do have another story, and this story is a dream story. It's called Mrs. Apricot's Dream. The dream fairy smiled when she found old Mrs. Apricot dozing in her chair by the sunny window. I'll surprise her, she whispered, touching Mrs. Apricot with her star-tipped wand. Suddenly, Mrs. Apricot wasn't old at all. She was a little girl again, waking from her nap in the same room she'd slept in as a child. The room was cold as tinkling icicles, just as it always used to be, for the only heat came from stoves in the kitchen and parlor. The little girl danced up and down to keep warm as she buttoned her dress and brushed her hair. She skipped downstairs and ran to the parlor window to breathe on the frosty pane and make a peephole to look out at the world. It was a white world, nothing but snow to be seen, not even another house, for the nearest one was 2 miles away. Oh dear, sighed the little girl, I'd be so happy if I had some children to play with. Then, to her surprise, she heard voices laughing and chattering outside. Children's voices! My goodness, cried the little girl, am I dreaming? She opened her eyes wide, and suddenly she was old Mrs. Apricot again, waking from her nap in the sunshine. There were voices outside. The children of What a Jolly Street were coming to call. My, beamed Mrs. Apricot, bustling to the door. Isn't it lucky that I baked cookies this morning? The dream fairy smiled as she faded softly out of sight. I thought I'd give her a happy dream, she whispered, but I believe she's even happier awake. Well, that's a neat story, too. Have you ever had an interesting dream about something that had happened before? Or, I don't know, any other sorts of dreams where you can do any sort of thing that you want to? I've had a lot of really good dreams that way. Anyway, I think that I've been calling Mrs. Apricot Mrs. Apricot. Or maybe I'm calling Mrs. Apricot Mrs. Apricot. You know, some people pronounce it one way, and some people say it another way. I might mix that up a few more times in these videos, but either way, she's the same person, and she's named after a delicious, plump fruit. Well, anyway, I want to wish you guys a good night's sleep. So, good night, Ava. Good night, Gideon. Good night, Elias. Good night, Archer. And good night, Fletcher. You guys have a great morning tomorrow, and I'll see you again soon.